Question: if I told you your cheap habits are secretly taxing you $5,000 a year, would you believe me? Prices on everyday things have jumped, and what felt reasonable a few years ago now quietly drains your cash. In the next few minutes, I'll show you how $15 fast food lunches, underused subscriptions, and upgrade FOMO siphon away investment capital you never realized you had. This isn't about deprivation, it's about redirecting. We'll quantify your personal convenience tax, category by category, and reveal which 10 everyday purchases no longer earn their keep. Let's start with the meals that used to be cheap and why they're now your most expensive habit. Here's where the $15 lunch that cost you $100,000 stops being a meme and starts being math. What if the most expensive meal you buy this year is the one you repeat 180 times? Fast food used to be the cheap fix. Now those $12 to $20 meals are the definition of a convenience tax. You're paying extra for not cooking, and it slips by because each swipe feels small. The quality hasn't improved, but the bill has, and people still say yes because it's quick. That's how it drains real money without feeling like a big decision. You don't plan for it, it just happens between meetings, on the way home, or when you're too tired to cook. Here's a normal week. 3 lunches at $15 each because the day got away from you. A $40 takeout night because you're late and hungry. A $70 restaurant date because it's Friday and you want a break. That's $155 in 7 days without a single big event. Multiply that over a month and you're hovering near $600. Keep that pace and it's thousands a year for convenience alone, not entertainment, not experiences, just food you forgot 48 hours later. Prices didn't inch up, they jumped. You can pay $12, $15, or even $20 for a fast food meal that used to be a budget move. At a regular sit-down restaurant, a meal for 2 easily lands at $60, $70, or $80 before tip, and the tip pushes it higher. The value story broke, but the habit stayed. That's why the total feels shocking when you finally add them up. Now think in opportunity terms. Redirect a consistent weekly slice, the difference between eating out by default and planning a bit, into a low-cost index fund. Even a few $100s a month, compounded over years, turns forgettable meals into meaningful progress. The point isn't to chase a specific return. It's to stop renting your future to drive-thrus and start owning a small piece of the productive assets. This isn't about cooking every meal or living out of a Tupperware. You need a system that keeps speed with the wealth train. Batch 1 protein and 1 base on Sunday so you can assemble fast. Keep a go-to 5-minute meal for late nights, eggs, veggies, tortillas, done. Pack 2 lunches early in the week when your willpower is highest. Use a default eat-at-home unless rule that only flips for social plans or true emergencies. Small automation beats motivation every time. Switch 2 of 5 weekly convenience meals to home prepped and you reclaim about $150 a month. That's the first slice of your $5,000 convenience tax back in your pocket. And it compounds if you invest it instead of letting it disappear. Once you see how small choices stack into big numbers, you'll start spotting the next quiet leak, the kind that renews itself whether you use it or not. Let's talk about the expenses that don't ask for a decision anymore. Subscriptions you don't use are stealth debt. How many subscriptions do you have? No, how many did you forget you have? You stack them one at a time because each one feels small. A streaming trial here, a cloud bump for more photos, a premium app to remove ads, a news bundle because you hit a paywall, and a game pass to try one title your friend recommended. The trial renews while you're busy, and the receipt hides in your inbox. Months later, you've got a quiet pile of auto-pays that draft your account without a second thought. Each one feels like coffee money, but the pile isn't coffee money. Streaming alone can be 4 or 5 logos deep. Add iCloud or Google Drive because your phone's full. Toss in Audible, a fitness app, maybe Peloton's classes, a password manager, and an extra VPN you barely touch. You add YouTube Premium to skip ads, then a software suite because you need it for one project. None of them sound expensive on their own. Together, they read like a payment plan you never meant to open. Let's make it concrete. Someone with a handful of streaming services, Spotify, Netflix, Hulu, Max, Paramount Plus, maybe YouTube Premium, can sit at $60 to $80 a month just for entertainment. Add cloud storage, Audible, a Peloton app, a VPN, and a software suite, and the total often lands around $100 to $150 monthly for a typical lineup. That's roughly $1,200 to $1,800 a year before price hikes. You notice the increases late because they roll out $1 or $2 at a time, and your bank statement only shows a maze of small charges. The fix starts with a visual audit you can do in one setting. Search your email for words like receipt, trial, renewal, and subscription. Open your phone's app store and tap subscriptions. Note the renewal dates and tiers. In your bank app, filter transactions by the last 90 days and scan for repeating charges on the same dates each month. Make one list with the service name, the monthly cost, and the last time you actually used it. If you can't recall using it in the past 30 days, mark it. Now you'll see why these stick around. New things feel exciting on day one, then slip into the background. That inertia keeps the charge alive even when your usage dies. If you've paid for 3 months, you feel a pull to keep it because you already invested. That sunk cost feeling plus a chunky cancel flow is how underused apps survive. Cut through it with a 10-minute cut list. Keep your top 3 most used. Pause or cancel everything else. Set a 60-day reminder to see if you missed any. Cancel 4 to 6 underused services and you free roughly $40 to $70 a month. Annualized, that's about $500 to $850 redirected from autopay to assets. Trim the drip now because the next category doesn't nibble at your cash, it takes a bite the moment you sign. Let's move from subscriptions you can cancel in a click to a decision that locks in years of payments. New car, new debt, old mistake. What if the biggest upgrade you buy loses about 20% before your first oil change? A new car feels like progress, but the moment it leaves the lot, its value drops hard. You're also signing up for higher financing costs and insurance premiums. That's a triple hit. You pay interest, you pay for more coverage, and the asset is worth less every week. It looks clean and worry-free on day one, but the math starts working against you before the temp tags come off. Here's the trap. You justify the new warranty and that reliable feeling, then carry a larger monthly payment for years while the car sheds value fastest at the start. The belief is stability. The reality is rapid depreciation paired with higher fixed costs. Meanwhile, a lightly used car has already taken the biggest value drop and settles into slower losses. You still get modern safety, updated tech, and a sane payment, but without funding the steepest part of the curve. You don't need exact amortization tables to see the difference. A typical new car priced in the mid-30s with current rates often means a notably higher monthly payment than a 3 to 4 year old model in the low 20s at similar terms. The used payment is meaningfully lower, and depreciation has already slowed. That gap every month is money you can redirect, and the used car isn't starting from a cliff. The total cost stretches beyond the payment. Add depreciation, higher insurance on a brand new vehicle, registration tied to value, and taxes. Over 5 years, the new car buyer often pays thousands more without a meaningful difference in daily function. You still commute the same miles at the same speed limits, but you're carrying a heavier financial load to do it. The used buyer keeps more cash flow free for savings, investments, and repairs that actually extend the car's life. Reliability doesn't disappear outside the showroom. Many models hit their most reliable stretch in years 3 through 7, when early flaws are fixed and maintenance is predictable. Certified pre-owned programs add limited warranties and thorough inspections, which plug the fear gap that pushes people into new. You can also bank the monthly savings to build a repair fund that covers the rare issues without panic. Use a clear buying rule. Treat down payment, loan length, and total car cost as constraints, not wishes. Keep the term short, avoid stretching just to lower the payment, and cap all-in car spending at a small slice of take-home pay. Aim for the used sweet spot, 3 to 4 years old, under 60,000 miles, clean history, and a model with strong, reliable records. That balances price, remaining life, and predictable ownership. Choose the 3 to 4 year old car and you often save $200 to $350 a month. That's $2,400 to $4,200 a year that can start compounding instead of evaporating. And once you stop funding big-ticket depreciation for the sake of image, the smaller status buys start to look like the same game in miniature. Let's shift to the daily buys that feel like upgrades but produce nothing back. Status purchases with zero yield. Would you invest in a stock that guarantees a loss the second you buy it? That's what status purchases do. Luxury clothing, designer accessories, and premium furniture can look like upgrades, but many are just price tags for a logo. You're paying to signal, not to solve a problem. A shirt keeps you warm, a bag carries your things, and a couch supports your body. If a product doesn't improve those basics, the extra cost buys perception, not performance. The function stays the same while your savings do the heavy lifting. Here's how it plays out. You grab a $250 logo tee when an $18 high-quality blank uses the same cotton weight, tight stitching, and stable dye. You finance a $1,200 designer bag because it lasts forever, even though a $120 full-grain leather tote, stitched well with solid hardware, handles the same load for years. You walk into a showroom and stretch a $3,000 couch over monthly payments, while a $700 used or refurbished solid frame sofa with new foam and a steam clean outlives it. None of these swaps lower your daily utility, they reduce the burn rate. Behind the price gap, the inputs often overlap. Many garments come from the same factories with materials sourced from similar mills, then split into different brand lines. The markup pays for retail build-out, marketing, and distribution more than superior construction. You're not buying better thread count so much as higher shelf space. When the underlying fabric, stitching density, and hardware grade match, the premium becomes a branding fee with no yield. There's also a psychological driver. Status spending often comes from insecurity and the urge to project success. You're buying perceived approval baked into a product. That pressure fades quickly, but the bill remains. When you see the motive clearly, to look like someone who has it, you can redirect towards actually having it. The trap deepens when you finance it. Buy now, pay later breaks a big price into small bites that feel painless, but it turns a fast depreciating good into a recurring bill. Miss a payment, and you face late fees. Stack 2 or 3 plans and your monthly cash flow tightens without you noticing. Store cards layer on promos, then catch you with retroactive interest if you slip past the window. You end up carrying yesterday's fashion into next month's budget. People also spend more when a checkout offers installments. The same item feels cheaper at $35 4 times, so carts grow. That's how you add an accessory, an extended protection plan, and a second color, since it's only a few dollars more then carry all of it into recurring payments. The item loses value, but the debt holds firm. Use a value stack before you buy. Score the item on function, lifespan, resale potential, maintenance cost, and daily utility. If it fails on 2 or more, downgrade it to a value alternative. Swap 3 status buys per quarter for well-made basics, and you can recover $1,000 to $2,000 a year to fund assets instead of logos. And if you can sidestep the urge to upgrade for appearances, you'll be ready to question the next cycle that nudges your wallet long before anything actually breaks. Let's put that lens on your gadgets. Upgrade FOMO is the annual tech bill you don't see. If your phone still works, why is your wallet acting like it's broken? The yearly upgrade cycle sells speed, cameras, and a shiny finish as if your current gear stopped doing its job. Phones, laptops, tablets, and watches get minor bumps that look big in ads but small in daily use. Email opens at the same pace, chats feel the same, and a Word doc saves just fine. You spend 4 figures to shave milliseconds off tasks you barely notice, and the bill shows up long after the unboxing thrill fades. Marketing leans hard on must-have features, but for most users the gains are marginal. The processor is faster on paper, yet your scrolling and streaming don't change. Planned obsolescence nudges you with low storage models, sealed batteries, and subtle slowdowns from background features you didn't ask for. It creates a sense that new is the fix when maintenance and settings do most of the heavy lifting. Take the math. Upgrade a $1,000 phone every 12 months and you're cycling cases, screen protectors, and activation fees on top of the device cost. Trade-in credits soften the blow, but often lock you into a contract and hide the real number across 24 to 36 payments. Push that same device to 36 to 48 months, and your average annual spend drops fast, even after a battery swap and a discounted refurb if needed. Benchmarks show diminishing returns for typical users once a device clears basic tasks. Browsing, social, maps, video, and photos perform well on hardware from several generations back. Software support windows often exceed 5 years, which means security updates keep older devices viable. That runway is longer than the marketing cycle wants you to believe. Hidden costs pile on. New cases, wireless chargers, dongles to replace missing ports, extended warranties you rarely claim, and cloud storage bumps after a higher-res camera fills space faster. Carrier financing frames the phone as $0 today, spreading payments so it feels free, then adds line access fees and upgrade plans that reset the clock before you finish paying for the last one. Psychology drives the spend. Novelty bias makes new feel better than good. Social signaling says a fresh model proves you're current. Installment plans mute price pain, so you say yes to a higher tier, bigger storage, and a premium color you wouldn't pick if you saw the full total up front. Use delay and defend. Delay upgrades 2 cycles, rides phones to year 4, laptops to year 6 if performance and battery hold. Defend the device. Replace batteries, clear storage, reset and reinstall once a year, and buy last year's flagship refurbished with warranty. You get 90% of the experience at a steep discount, and you keep your plan flexible. Stretch those cycles by 2 years and you free roughly $400 to $1,200 annually without losing capability. Once you can see that invisible bill, it becomes easier to redirect what you've recovered towards something that actually pays you back. So here's where it all comes together. Conclusion. Your convenience tax isn't a moral failure. It's how the system is built. Once you see it, you can reroute those dollars into assets that pay you back. You don't need perfection. You need consistent redirection that compounds and builds real security instead of appearance of success. Run a 30-day audit. Cut 2 dine-outs. Cancel 4 subscriptions. Delay the next upgrade. Price a used car path with clear payment limits. Set up auto investing so the savings move without you thinking about it. Make your money prove its value. If it can't, it doesn't stay. Comment your monthly reclaim number below and where you'll allocate it first: debt payoff, index funds, or a cash buffer.